Hey everybody, welcome to College Algebra. This is Math 35 at College of the Sequoias. Today we're working on graphing. This is chapter 2 in our book, and graphing is, let's take a look at circles. 2.2 is going to be graphing circles and equations of circles. So, well, what is a circle? The definition of a circle, everyone can picture a circle, but the definition of a circle is the set of all points equally distant from a central point. Equally distant, we often say equidistant. That central point is the center. And the central point is the center of a circle, center of the circle. So if that's my center, the distance from the center to anywhere on the circle is the same. Each of these lengths we give the letter R. Distance from the center to the circle is called the radius. And we use the letter R. Some other fun things about a circle: the distance around a circle. We call the circumference. Circumference is the word we use for circle. It's the perimeter. Perimeter on other shapes. On a circle, we call it circumference. I'm going to use the letter C for circumference. C equals 2 times pi times R. Pi is approximately 3.14. It is actually an unending decimal number, but the first two decimal places are 3.14. In fact, every year on March 14th, throughout the country, there are people that do challenges on this. This is called pi, P-I, not with an E, not like the delicious dessert, called pi. And it's March 14th is called Pi Day. And I have seen people, they do contests to recite as many decimal places as pi as they can remember. And I've seen people do upwards of 300, which is crazy to me. That's insane. So that's the circumference. And then the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. If we go from one side of the circle to the other, passing through the center, R and R, that full length right there is D. D equals R plus R. D is diameter. And D equals 2R. So another way of writing circumference is pi times d. We replace the 2r with d. That's another way of looking at it. All right, let's look at the general equation of a circle. We actually have an equation. The general equation for a circle I've got x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. The center is at h comma k. And of course, r is the radius. So for example, let's say my center HK is 1, -2. And we have a radius of 3. We can draw that. Oh, turn off the phone. Game of Thrones is my alarm. So 1, -2 is right there. That's my center. And the radius is 3. The easiest way is just go 3 right, 3 left, 3 up, 3 down, and connect the dots, making a circle. Now, if I write this as an equation, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, and I take those things and plug it in, I have x minus 1 squared plus y minus k is -2 squared equals 3 squared. This is x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 9. And this will bother you, presumably. It tripped me out for a little while. These are opposite. These numbers are opposite of HK. I see -1, H equals +1, not -1. And K equals -2, not +2. So whatever sign you see there, change the sign for the center. On a circle, both x and y are squared. Both x is squared and y is squared. Okay? Let's have you guys do it. Do some example. Let's give you 3 to try. I'm going to give you the center equals, on all of them, center is 3, 6, radius is 7. Then let's take a look at center is 0, 0, radius equals 1. And center of -4, 1, radius equals 2. So just plug these in. Remember, we've got x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And the center is hk. My h here is 3, my k is 6. X minus h is x minus 3 squared. Y minus k is y minus 6 squared equals r squared, which is 49. If you do the same thing for the center at the origin, 0, 0, x minus 0 squared is just x squared. Y minus 0 squared is just y squared. And 1 squared is 1. When we have the circle at a center of 0, 0 at the origin or radius 1, we call this the unit circle. You'll see this in trig. Trigonometry a lot. It shows up a lot in trigonometry. And finally, for the last one, we've got x minus h is x minus negative 4 squared plus y minus k, y minus 1 squared equals 2 squared. This becomes x plus 4 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 4. Okay. Graphing these is as easy as pie. And just to make it a terrible pun, graphing circles is as easy as pie. But not P-I-E, pie. Step 1, plot the center. In step 2, go R units up, down, left, and right. And then connect the dots in a circle. Don't be lazy and make a diamond. Circles are round. They don't have straight lines anywhere. Now, the semester I'm filming this, we are in the COVID-19 lockdown, and so I'm not having you submit anything that I would draw. In a regular semester, though, when I'm face-to-face and when you take a test and I have you graph a circle, if you draw a diamond, you're getting marked down for being lazy. Don't be lazy. You know circles are round. And if you don't know circles are round, you should drop out of college, okay? True story. That's just a basic shape you learn when you're in 5th grade or 5 years old. You learn shapes. So don't be lazy. So let's look at some graphing. Let's do center is 1, negative 2. I already did that. Didn't I? That was the first one I did. Let's graph some of the ones we just said. Let's do the unit circle. 0, 0 with a radius of 1. So my center is there. X-axis and Y-axis. I'm going to go from the center, I'm going to go right 1, I'm going to go up 1, I'm going to go left 1, and I'm going to go down 1. And then I'm going to connect them in a circle, a curve, not a diamond. Okay, a circle. What about the center is -2, 4? And r equals 3. -2 is to the left of the center, and r equals 4 is above it. So -2, 4 is right there. That's my center. If I want to go 3 up, I need to add some more lines going up. Go down 3. If I kind of want to go left and right, I need some more hash marks going left and right. And I'm going to go left and right 3, and I'll connect the dots in the circle. What's the equation of this one? Here. You can find the center, finding the equation from just a graph, from the graph. Find the center and find the radius. So my center, if I look at the center, it's -2 left and 4 up. Center is -2, 4. We already know what it is right there. And if I just count, just make sure it's a circle by counting up and down. Down, it goes up, down 3. And left, right is 3 as well. So r equals 3. X minus -2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 3 squared. I got x plus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 9. Right? All right, let me give you one. Your turn. You try. Let's do a radius equals 2. And let's say the center is -1, -3. Graph it and write the equation. All right, I'll assume you paused it, worked on it. If you didn't, please pause it and try to do this. Practice is good. Watching me do it is not going to do it for you. If that's hk, h equals -1 and k equals -3. So I've got x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. x minus -1 squared plus y minus -3 squared equals the radius squared is 2 squared. And I get x plus 1 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 4. -1, -3 is left 1 and down 3. My radius is 2. I'm going to go up 2, down 2, right 2, and left 2. And then I'll connect the points in a curve. All right? A little bit more. The general form of a circle will have an x squared plus a y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. For example, x squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 8y minus 44 equals 0. We can use complete the square to write in the circle equation form. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add 44 to the other side, and I'm going to group my x's and y's together. So if I add 44 to both sides and rearrange my stuff, I've got x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 8y equals 44. Complete the square on each one. Remember, completing the square, we take that, we divide it by 2, we square it, and add it in. 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 squared is 4. Completing the square, we just take that value and plop it in right there. Plus 2 squared. I'll do the same thing with y. -8 divided by 2 squared is -4 squared is 16. And I'll plop that right in. -8 divided by 2 is -4, so I got y minus 4 squared. Whatever I added to the left, I need to add to the right. So I'm going to add, I added 4 and 16. I'm going to add 4, and I'm going to add 16 over here. And I'm going to get 44 plus 16 is 60, plus 4 is 64. So tell me what the center and radius is. Plus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 64. H is the opposite, so -2, +4. Bless me. So my center is -2, 4, and the radius is the square root of 64, which is 8. All right. Let's kick it up a notch. Let's make it a little bit harder. If x squared and y squared don't have coefficients of 1, divide by the coefficient. Two x squared plus 2y squared plus 2x minus 6y equals 45. Now circles, they're gonna have the same coefficient. If it's any other, like ellipses, where it's different, if you go up and down, it's different distance than going left and right. We'll do this in a later time. They'll have different coefficients, but circles have matching coefficients. We don't want it to have a 2 in front of it, so I'm going to divide everything by 2. This becomes, and I'm going to rearrange it to put the x's together. I've got x squared plus x. I've got y squared minus 3y. Let's complete the square and write this in that shape. 45 over 2. I'm going to leave it as a fraction. So if I complete the square, I pull the coefficient down of the x, it's 1. 1 over 2 squared is 1/4. So I'm going to add 1/4 to both sides. And that 1/2 goes right in here. And I'll take the -3 divided by 2, which gives me my y value there, my k value, -3/2. Well, k is 3/2. Y minus k is y minus 3/2. We square that. Squaring the top is 9, and the bottom is 4, so I'm adding 9/4. I can't really add these unless I get a common denominator. 1/4 and 9/4 already have a common denominator of 4. I can get the 45 over 2 to have a common denominator of 4 if I multiply by 2 over 2. So get a common denominator. I'm going to put common bottom because I didn't give myself room to write denominator very well. So what do I have here? 45 times 2 is 90. 90 over 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 9 over 4. The denominator is 4, and we add the numerators. 90 plus 1 plus 9 is 100. Which is 25, right? 100 divided by 4 is 25. X plus 1/2 squared plus y minus 3/2 squared equals 25. Bam. So what's the center? What's the radius? My center is the opposite sign of the thing in the x parentheses. So 1/2, the center is -1/2. And my 3/2 becomes a positive 3/2 for the k. My radius is the square root of 25, r equals 5. Almost done, just a little bit more. So far, r squared has been greater than 0 in x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. what if r squared equals 0? Like, let's say I've got x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 0. My center is -2, 3. My radius is the square root of 0 is 0. There is no distance from the center of the circle to the circle. Which means all we have is a single point. At -2, 3. And if r squared is less than 0, like x plus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals -4, the square root of -4 is 2i. This does not graph in the real plane. And where do we use circles a lot? There's actually a lot of uses. First of all, we see them on tires, on pizzas, and all sorts of stuff. But uses, like, where is this used in real life other than shapes like that? Example. The ground begins to shake. Three stations record the time that it started shaking. Station A is at 1, 4. Station B is at -6, 0. Station C is at 5, -2. Now, they figure out what time it starts shaking, and they kind of work backwards. And they work backwards from time. To determine the distance from station. From the station of the epicenter of the earthquake. It can be pretty complicated. They have devices that do it. Let's just say they calculated the distance here was 4. For B, it was 5. And for C, it was 10. 4 seconds later, 5 seconds later, 10 seconds later, they converted it to units. Let's say it's those units. Draw the 3 circles. Where center is the station location. And the distance is the radius. Okay. Oh, Okay, yeah. So they don't know where, like for station A. I'm not going to go through and work out the whole problem. This is where it shows up. Like the center is at 1,4. The time it takes, they know that the earthquakes happen somewhere in the distance around it. And these, my dots are probably not going to match up with what I had above, but let's say station B is here, and it had a bigger radius. And let's say I had a different station. I'm going to say station D because I'm going to have a smaller radius. Let's just do where it goes like this. So let's call that station D. They graph the three circles. Where the three circles intersect, intersection of the three circles, is the epicenter. Neat stuff, right? Something that might help you while you're doing the homework, since you're going to be doing this a lot, you're going to be doing squares a lot. Let me show you a shortcut in, like this happens on most programs, most keyboards. If you are entering let's say x minus 1 squared. In a program, you can type you do the parentheses, you do the x, you do the minus, you do the 1, you end the parentheses, then you do the caret symbol, 2. This is hold down the shift key and hit 6. Hold down shift and hit 6. When you do that and you hit, when you do this, this is going to convert it to x minus 1 squared. So the caret symbol says make what follows, tells the program that what follows is an exponent. Okay, this works in MATLAB too. So if you get tired of clicking on the bot, this is easier than clicking on the whole key like that. Because then you got to reach and grab for the mouse. But if you're typing, your hands are already on the keyboard, you don't need the mouse. That's it for this section. I'll do 2.3 and 2.4 in a little bit. Peace. Stop the video. Have a good day, everybody.